Hey everybody. Um, Today's topic is a little more deep than usual, and it's about religion. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, what I'm looking to get is actually feedback from you guys or your own thoughts about the matter that I'm discussing, and it's why. Now, I've never been a very religious person in my life. I A part of me likes to believe there is a God, there is an energy out there named God, there's something out there, there's a higher power. But then a part of me always feels like I doubt it. There have been times where I have prayed to just God, not for a specific religion, not a specific uh, religious prayer, but just to God Himself, because a part of me believes that there is God, that there is somebody out there called God. But then a part of me doubts it and kind of questions why. If why do we need to believe that there's God? But not only that, how do we know that there is God? I've seen videos where people try to use math equations to falsify or prove that God exists. It's all over the internet, things about religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism. But how do you know which one's the right one? And not only that, how do you know if any of it is legit? But not only that, but how do you know that any of it is of substance? I'm not here to say that a religion's wrong or that religion is wrong, because I think religion of mind and self and just having something to believe in general is really crucial. But then a part of me almost questions something which might seem very condescending, but I don't mean it this way, so don't take it the wrong way. What if religion is just cope with the world the way it is? Because if you think about it, how do we really cope with the world's problems? I mean, people either do it in the following ways. They get a therapist or psychologist and these people, I mean, I think they're great, but I think that at the end of the day, personally, what I believe is it comes down to the person themselves, if they want to help themselves get better. And just what I've seen from people, I've always seen that just in life, when a man is compelled to take action, man or woman, they will do it by themselves, especially when they know they have to. Like 1,000 years ago, if you were in a war and you had no way home and your back was against the wall, as Sun Tzu stated, you would fight like hell to get out because you were on death ground. You had to keep fighting to win and to survive. And that was your cope. It was to fight. Today, you don't really have an enemy like that. Your back isn't against the wall. It's not like your life is at risk, but it's a lot more emotional than it used to be. It's a lot more socially isolated and distant because of things like social media, which is honestly like the new enemy of the day. You don't have an actual enemy out there attacking you. So I think social media kind of symbolizes that in today's modern age. And you kind of see how people are coping in different ways. Now it's more therapists, psychologists, getting mental help. This is how people usually deal with problems nowadays. And I think it's good, but it's like, what if it's just all cope? What does it matter if the reason we feel the way we do, the reason we have problems is literally just a bunch of neurons and things happening inside of our brain and inside of our body? Because think about it, they always say that circumstances don't change you, only you do. And you do in a sense where the actions you take can, to a degree, impact how you feel. Like if you exercise, if you go out and talk to people and you socialize. But isn't all of it just something that's very internal? Neurons in your brain, muscle isn't something that's just added on top. It's not something you wear. It's something that you build from the inside. I know everything I'm saying just seems like complete banter, but it's just so many, just a jillion thoughts in my mind about religion. And the way that this ties to religion is that, isn't all of this just cope? Like a part of us, what if a part of us just realizes that everything we believe is just not real, is just bullshit? I don't want it to be. I want to believe there's God. I'm not here to be a naysayer and to say God isn't real and that there's nothing existent about him. I want there to be a God. Trust me. I spend some times praying, but a part of me feels very helpless when I pray because I don't know if there really is anyone listening to me. And the thought about praying to myself and there be nobody listening to me when I'm trying to pray, I mean, that's probably one of the most painful feelings in this world. And I'm guessing that if I'm feeling this way, maybe there's other people feeling this way too. And I'm not saying I'm having what you'd call an existential crisis where for 1 week I believe I have like these thoughts in my mind and then it goes away. It's something that's been there for a while. And it hasn't really caused suffering for me because I've been living a good life. I have a roof over my head. I have a lot of things I could have always loved. I have a nice healthy life. But it's just something that's on a very psychological level. Like there's a lot of cruelty in this world, a lot of bad things that happen, and there's a lot of good and evil, and there's a lot of bad people that get away with bad things and nothing really ever happens to them. Especially if you look at history, there have been kings that unlawfully would kill people. I'm sure there were people that accused people of things that weren't necessarily accurate or whatnot simply to get rid of other people, and they got away with it. And there's a lot of these evil people too that would worship Jesus Christ, that would worship Muhammad, that would worship all these religions, yet they would act evil themselves to either believe that they were sent from a god. Think about Alexander the Great, believed he was the son of Zeus, king of all the Greek gods. We have Julius Caesar, who believed that he was ascended from uh, Olympians or whatnot. All of these great characters believing they're divine, almost grandiose. But how can I believe that it's true? Because there is no legitimate proof. But if I were to ask you what proof, you would simply tell me it's all in the Bible or it's all in the Quran. But then it gets me to think, how can I believe that everything in the Bible is real or everything in the Quran is real? And then you tell me, well, the stuff in it is real because there's people who wrote it and this happened in the Bible. But how can I believe that? How can I believe that Jesus was resurrected and that he died and that he rose from the dead, or that all these other things and all these other religious books, religious writings? How can I believe a book based on certain people that might have written it, even when I'm not 100% sure who wrote it or about the information of the person who wrote this detailed information, no matter how legitimate it may seem? And even if these people are legit, how can I believe that they're not talking out of their asses? And then it gets me to think, what if a religion literally just started from one person deciding that he was going to go and say one thing as a joke or even to just play with someone's mind, and he got this person to run around and tell everybody the belief, and before you know it, everybody believes in someone called Jesus or Muhammad 2,000 years later because of this one person that decided to just spread a rumor or gossip or to say a name or to make up a story. I know it sounds very, 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 very crazy, but think about it. Think about how rumors spread. You tell one person one thing, you say something that's completely ridiculous, right? You exaggerate a situation or something that happened, and before you know it, there's newspaper articles, especially among celebrities, that detail things that might not even be true, that try to over exaggerate things that aren't even real. When people tell stories, everyone over exaggerates. So what if literally all of the religions we believe today came from one person who just maybe even decided to talk out of their ass purposefully to make money at the time? Or let's say 2,000 years ago somebody held somebody hostage and and told them to explain why they stole their stuff. And then this guy gives a story about some god who told him to do it for a divine purpose, simply because he wanted to escape this person's wrath for being caught for stealing. And then before you know it, it spreads, and then everybody starts believing in this religion, and then you call it something: Christianity, Muslim. How do we not believe that today there's going to be a person who's going to be worshipped 2,000 years later for being resurrected, like a 21st century Jesus? But we never saw that person get resurrected. We just decided to believe this person was resurrected and their soul or spirit without ever actually experiencing it or seeing it. And then I question it because religion takes time, right? There's people who have devoted their whole lives to religion. There are people who've gone to monasteries, who have been monks, who literally are making money off of religion from fellow people who believe in religion. But how do we know it's all real? And what if you spend your whole life worshiping a religion, working, making your living out of that religion, only to believe that none of it is real? I mean, how can I believe that God is real? And if religion is real, why is there not one? If there's several religions, right? If there's so many religions that have existed since the beginning of humankind. If we believed in all of these, a lot of these religions contradict each other. So doesn't that also mean that if some of these religions contradict other religions, then a lot of these religions might not be real? Because if you say yes and no, obviously there has to be a real one. You look at somebody, does he have black hair or blonde hair? Well, you look at him and he has black hair. So it's just like, if a lot of religions are incorrect because a lot of them contradict each other, and one of them has to be right. You can't say that Los Angeles is located in northern Canada when it's in southern United States of America, right? Because it is located in the southern United States of America on the southwest. There's not two possibilities, so there's one possibility, and that means one way has to be right, or one set of religions has to be right. But how do we even know which one is real and what's not? How can we trust that all of them are real, and how can people believe in all of these religions when one of them has to be wrong at least? So that means either all the people worshiping Christianity are incorrect, or all the people worshiping Christianity are correct in their beliefs and didn't waste their time, and while all the other people believed in the Quran and Islam. So then what if Islam is wrong and all of the people that believed in Islam find out when they're 80 years old that they spent all their time worshiping it and even making possibly a living off of it if they wanted through indulging in religious services, only to find out that it's not real? I mean, the pain in that. I mean, I've always told myself that God is real when I was a kid, but I never questioned it. But now I question it because I want to see, what if my own success doesn't have to come from somebody above me that tells me to do things, acts of servitude to get closer to him, but to simply live my life the way I want to live it, in a way that I still believe is moral and righteous, but that is for myself. Because what if when I die one day, I don't want it to be that I died just worshiping someone else, worshiping somebody else that spoke 2,000 years ago. I mean, you can if you want, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, and I'm not here to judge, because who am I to talk about religion when I haven't even properly worshipped one in my life or 100% followed one? It's just, I don't know, it's a very painful and hollow thought to believe that all of religion is just cope. Because I don't want to believe it's cope, right? I really don't. I want to believe, I want to. Please don't tell me I'm a hater of religion, because I want there to be religion. I'm just trying to understand why. I mean, if we believe that when we were little kids, a lot of us coped by having imaginary friends. Maybe some of us, yes, some of us not, some of us more than others. A lot of other people coped by indulging in certain movies and living in these fantasy lands and worlds of their own and constantly dreaming about it. And aren't these all just a form of religion or belief, creating these ideas in your mind where you feel that you believe it simply because you keep telling yourself that you believe something and you keep affirming it to yourself? I mean, a lot of people say they have these visions of religion, but think about it. If somebody told you every single day, say you grew up in a Hellenistic period, like ancient Greece, where people were worshiping the Greek gods, and let's say Alexander the Great, right? He was the great conqueror of the Persian Empire, the unknown world, and his mother told him that he was descended from the gods. He was the son of Zeus. And then he would have these visions that he would see himself looking at Mount Olympus, and you see Zeus and you see all the gods up there. But what if he just had that vision literally because it kept getting pushed into his mind by somebody out there? Like, think about it. All of what we believe, 99.99% of it, besides a little bit of our biological self or anything, pretty much everything we know is from somebody that's existed. It's from a God. So everything I'm asking must be something that somebody else either thought of to themselves deep down or indirectly spoke about when they were having an existential crisis, when they were trying to debate against religion. And I see so many videos where people debate. I've seen Christian versus Islam debates, this and that, where people say, nope, Jesus was this, Jesus was that. Oh no, Jesus is the Father, Jesus is Lord. Nope, he's not, he's somebody else. The Judaism's counter. Like, how do I know who to believe? What if Zeus is real? What if the Greek gods are real and Jesus isn't real? What if we should be worshiping somebody on Mount Olympus named Zeus? I mean, if these guys are real, shouldn't there be God standing on Mount Olympus? But if you Google it and search it up, you just see a picture of a mountain. You don't see God standing on top of it, walking around, Zeus shooting thunderbolts, throwing it at the ground. And I mean, I'm sure there's people who still believe in it, but I'm finding it hard, man. I mean, what's there to have belief in something above you when you can just believe in yourself? And not even that alone. What's the point of trying to believe in yourself if I'm not saying that. What's the point of spending all your time just trying to affirm things to yourself about beliefs when you can literally just do something to get ahead in your life? What if a big part of religion is just cope that you aren't where you want to be in life, life isn't perfect for you, and you have to find a way to worship somebody out there to make yourself feel better? I mean, isn't that what the idea of the afterlife is for in a lot of religions? Like when we say heaven is real, you go up there, it's always daylight, people are singing, it's beautiful, you see Jesus, you're always in peace. That literally contradicts a lot of what life can be today. Not all of life, but a lot of what life is today, which is very not surreal, which can be brutal for many people. And we imagine this other life that we could experience, heaven. And then how do we get accepted into heaven? Doing these daily acts of servitude, praying, being a good person. But what defines being a good person, right? There's so many people that have worshipped Christ, worshipped him and that, but that have acted completely differently. And they say, oh, I've sinned, but it's okay. Jesus will forgive me. He'll let me slide into heaven, You can't really do that. You can't just act anyway and say, no, Jesus will let it slide. So then it just kind of makes me believe if the world was a perfect place where there was absolutely no problem and there was no cruelty and it was every single day 24/7 sunshine, flowers, and you didn't have to do any work, you would just wake up with a ripped body, you'd wake up being 10 out of 10 attractive, you'd wake up every day in this giant mansion, every single day you'd wake up with like 1,000 servants serving you food every day, you don't have to do jack shit in your life. What would there be to use of belief or believing in something when you already have everything that you want? How could that be real? And that's really, I don't know, these are just a giant formulation of thoughts that I've had in my mind about different religions, because I hear a lot of prayer, but something about me is that I like to see why. Not to be condescending and demeaning or just making other people feel bad or to stroke my own ego, because I really want to know. I mean, if a certain God is real, why? And if there is a book that worships him like the Bible, the Quran, or anything, how is that real? Well, you say read the Bible or the Quran or read something else. I read it, but then why should I believe that, right? Why should I believe that in this book some holy experience happened? And then who wrote that? And if I want to know who wrote it, because I want to understand what their experiences are and if they're justified. And if there's no video or written records, how can I believe that? And if there's no records of anything that's been written or videoed, how can I believe anything? How can I believe that a religion is right if other religions contradict it? If one religion must be wrong, doesn't it mean that there's a 50-50 chance we're believing in the wrong religion or the wrong prophet or the wrong person? And if you say that religion is just the way you improve your life and make yourself healthy, what is the benefit if a big part of it is just mental cope when you don't want to accept that maybe it is? So, these are all the thoughts, formulation of thoughts, just really just my banter, just me rambling for a good 20 minutes about religion, because I want to hear your guys' thoughts. This is everything that's just been going in my mind in circles. And I'm not saying it to preach or say it's right. I'm just saying it to say, these are my thoughts, and I want to hear what you have to say. And again, once again, I appreciate y'all for watching this. If you liked it, I really appreciate it. Subscription, follow, share this with your buddies, like. And again, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be coming out with new content. Some weeks might be harder with others because I've been very, very busy with classes, other stuff, training. So things can get in the way, but I will try to. So if I am not able to 100% consistently publish videos, just know that's the reason why. And again, y'all have a good one and stay blessed.